What is up, guys? Welcome back to Garage Sports Media. Jackson here. We got a quick little video for you guys. Just getting into some Phillies Eagles stuff. Now, as you know, it was a big week for, Philly sports and a disappointing week. Phillies lose to the Dodgers 5-3 Saturday night. Follow that up with a loss Sunday afternoon against the Denver Broncos. Eagles lose 21-17. Now, this was such a disappointing weekend for sports. So I want to start first talking about the Phillies. You have that loss to the Dodgers Saturday night in Citizens Bank Park. That's nothing short of just, upsetting as a fan. You worry about what they looked like last year, if that's going to happen again, and you tell yourself all season, it won't. And then it starts to happen again. They start to collapse. So this Phillies team going into this game, I think everybody was really, really excited for what they're going to do in the postseason. I know I was. You have a couple guys that are looking really good going into that game. And then they come up short, Kyle Schwarber is one of those bigger names for me. You're going up against Shohei Ohtani. He is a good pitcher, deserves the contract that he has, and that first game is going to be difficult. But against this Dodgers bullpen, I expect the team to thrive, and they didn't. So this game tonight, this Monday night game, it is a must-win game. You cannot go into LA on 2 losses. You won't come back from that. Tonight is a must-win game. I think they will win. You have Jesus Luzardo up on the mound. This guy, he's been looking pretty hot the last couple of months with the pitching that he is doing. He seems like he's on a bit of a streak right now for playing a little bit better. And Blake Snell, for the Dodgers, his ERA is not good in away games. So if you're going to expect anything big tonight, I think we'll have at least 2 home runs that I'm expecting. With this Phillies team, your big moments are not going to come from hitting, single. It's going to be your big explosive plays where these guys will shine. Harrison Bader is not going to be starting tonight. He had a little bit of a hamstring, leg issue. After that game on Saturday, they're going to rest him tonight in hopes that he'll be healthy going to LA later this week. So I think this is a game to be excited for, especially with Edmundo Sosa in the lineup. Edmundo Sosa has looking like he wants a World Series now. He had that big 3-run home game, so I expect big out of him tonight. Now, looking ahead to the rest of the series, in LA, I think that this Phillies team can pull off a win, and I think that this game comes back to Citizens Bank Park, and that is where I think the fans are a big part of this. If you want this team to succeed, you are going to have to drown out this Dodgers team with noise. Obviously, fans are not the top priority when it comes to winning or losing games. It's how the players play. Fans really do not have much control over that. But when you come into an environment like Citizens Bank Park, this is where they shine. So players like Bryce Harper, who feed off of energy, they do amazing in Citizens Bank Park because they're feeding off of that postseason energy, that extra excitement. Bryce Harper coming up short in that first game, that is really surprising to me. You don't see that much out of him as a guy that does really well in the postseason. So I think the fans, they need to be loud and proud. Make your voices heard. These players need that extra boost to win this game. So looking ahead in the rest of the series, I think that in LA, it's going to be a challenge. But I think you win tonight. I think you go to LA, lose that first game, and I think you win the next 2. One in LA and one in Citizens Bank Park when you come back next Saturday. So I think that this game is going to be won with the bullpen. Our bullpen needs to not show what they're about to throw like Matt Strom did the other night. But I think this Dodgers bullpen is weak. I think that there are issues there and holes in their bullpen that I think that this Phillies team needs to prioritize on. So, that first game, they're throwing out their best guys, their top three. Going into this next game and the next couple of games, they really do not have much depth. So once you itch away, once you get to the sixth inning, the players should be having bigger moments. The Phillies should be having bigger at-bats, putting more points on the board. Now, I want to talk a bit about this Eagles game that last Sunday against the Broncos. What can I say other than that I'm disappointed, but part of me is happy that it happened so early. And I say that in the sense of this team needed a game where they realize that they are not the best. You are just itching by step, just clawing your way through. You could very well lose to the Cowboys if CeeDee Lamb catches that pass. You lose to the Chiefs if Travis Kelce catches that pass. You lose to the Bucs if Baker Mayfield doesn't throw an interception. And you lose to the Rams if they make that field goal. So these guys have been bailed out week after week. I almost feel partially, I guess you could say, fine with the fact that they lost this past game against the Broncos. Because they need something to motivate them. They need adversity to realize what they are doing is not sustainable and it is not okay for this football team. Now, I don't know if you want to blame it on the play calling or if you want to blame it on Jalen or if you want to blame it on AJ, but something was up with that offense on Sunday. Saquon only having 6 runs is insane. And we say it all week. Throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball. AJ needs the ball. Devontae needs the ball. You say it all week. But you don't expect the reaction to be only throw the ball and don't run. And we said it here on this channel. The Broncos are not very good against the run. That is where Saquon Barkley is going to strive. And he starts to. He had that big 17-yard run, the best of the season so far for him. And then they don't have him run again after that. He finally finds a way to break through, find the holes in their team, and then you don't see much after that, coming out of him. So, what else is there to say other than this team needs to change up what they're doing? It is great that it is happening this early on, that they realize that there is a problem, because this wasn't sustainable if you wanted to win a Super Bowl. This Broncos team got the best of them this week. I think that quick turnaround going to New York, I do think that they win that game, though. Now, I want to look ahead to that New York Giants game coming up this Thursday, making a video about it specifically to talk a little bit because, we'll have our general episodes that come out every Thursday, just in case you guys can't tune into that. So with this Eagles team going to New York, you have a quick turnaround going from Sunday to Thursday. You got to go up to MetLife. It's going to be interesting. So there's 2 things that can happen this game. I don't think it's going to be that close of a game by any means. So I think 2 things could happen. Either A, the Eagles realize we do need to bounce back. And, they have a little bit of extra fight in them. Maybe they go up to MetLife. Saquon Barkley sees that old Giants uniform, decides to put up 100 yards, give or take, So I can see Saquon having a good game against this Giants defense. Do not expect much from them. And this Giants team is really just trying to figure out what they're doing. There is no rhyme or reason really to this Giants team. There's no standard that they're setting this season. They're good in one thing and then bad in the next, and then they flip-flop the next week. So with this Giants team, that also means there's a lot to be unexpected, but that's why I think either Saquon does have a big game, this Eagles team looks great, or I think that the Giants start to get the best of the Eagles. Keep it more of a closer game, lower scoring, and then ultimately win. So I could see either things happening. I do have the Eagles winning this game. I think that the Giants are beat up, bruised, but with a division rival, you never know what can happen.